be honest. Going into the ball game, they've already labeled it as the Meadowland Massacre.
The time
I wouldn't be
1
surprised, but wait now. Had dinner with John McVay and his wife the other day. He said it is no pleasure having to coach against Tom Landry or play the Dallas Cowboys. He said, why don't you two get together and devise a game plan that we have, and a good one.
Well, I bet it'll be a good one. It'll need be a good one because the Giants had a rather disappointing performance against St. Louis. And, of course, Dallas, the only unbeaten club in the conference. It would appear to be David and Goliath at least. Let's go down on the field and take a look, and we'll find out about the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. And at least the first sign for the Giants, the good one, they have won the toss. That means Efren Herrera and the special team from Dallas and the pride of Guadalajara, numero uno, number 1.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
Kicking off.
And 10 seconds.
For the Giants, the deep man is Bob Hammond, a more exciting ball player around here.
Good afternoon
number
at the Tone. The time will be 1.
Number 27, that would be Willie Spencer, and he has given way instead. And they have changed their receivers as we
Good
look
afternoon
at the
Tone. The time will be 1.
And referee Gene Barth along with Connell, Bergman, Vandenberg, Marshall, and Graham.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
So Beasley, Reese, and Bob Hammond.
And 40 seconds.
And Efren Herrera putting a 7-0 mark on the line, and here we go.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
Beasley, Reese on his goal line.
And 50 seconds.
He's to the 10, to the 20. Upended at the 25-yard line.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 2.
Let's take a look at the Giants' offensive line. 71 Gravel, 63 Van Horn, 61 Chandler, 73 Mullen, 62
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
the boys
1,
will handle
2.
The ball. 85 Robinson, 86
and 10
Perkins,
seconds.
87 the tight end Shirk. At quarterback, number 9 Pisarcik, and the running backs are
Good
Hammond,
afternoon
number
at the Tone. The time will be
Zonka,
1,
39.
2.
And Perkins
and 20 seconds.
Goes wide right with Robinson in a slot on the right side. 1st and 10 from the Giants.
Good afternoon
21.
at the Tone. The time will be 1, 2.
First man is Zonka, and he gets out across the 30-yard line. Picked up 4, so it should be about 2nd.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1,
on defense
2.
now. Big too-tall Jones, 72. Q, 75. White's 54. And Martin, 79.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will
Henderson,
be 1,
56.
2.
Brunig in the middle at 53.
And 50
Lewis, number
seconds.
50. At the corners, Barnes and Kyle with Waters and Harris at safety.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 3. Exactly.
Robinson is right and Perkins left. And it's Zonka again. And he fights his way out to the 35, and he is just shy of a first down. He'll need about a yard, I would assume. Larry Zonka has not done very much. In fact, in his last 4 games, he's carried for only 61 yards.
He's not running the ball a lot, but he has been
seconds.
fairly effective as a blocker, Ben.
One interesting thing, too, about the Giants, they do not score in the first quarter. They have scored 1 touchdown this year in the first quarter, and that was a defensive player. George Martin intercepted a pass and ran 30 yards for a touchdown against Washington.
The time will be 1,
3rd down, 1.5 yards to 2 to go. The Giants trying to keep their first drive alive. And a flag as Hammond gets out and would appear to have the first down, but we have to see. Flag on the play.
And 50 seconds.
Bobby Hammond had an outstanding night the other night in the Monday night game. He was one of the few bright spots for the Giants.
Well, there's a bright spot offside against Dallas.
Exactly.
And so the Giants, with Tom Landry, the winningest active coach, looking on. He's now won 144 games. And since 1966, his record is 119 and 40. And they'll march off the 5 against Dallas.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 4.
So the Giants will take over. On a first down, that will spot the ball on the Giant 40-yard line. We had a very light rain. Let's listen.
56.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 4.
Offside would be Tom Henderson, the left linebacker, number 56. So 1st and 10 for the Giants.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 4.
Perkins wide right and Robinson in a slot right. Dixon, the tight end, is in a flex about a yard or 2 off the line.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 4.
And again, a Dallas player moved, and it was Jethro Pugh. Whether he was drawn off remains to be seen.
1, 5. Exactly.
And it'll be number 75, Jethro Pugh, guilty of the infraction.
Vin, you can't help but look for Dallas to stumble someplace. Along about the midpoint in every season, this is the best start they've gotten off into in their 16-year history, 18-year history, I guess it is now.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
Kind of look for them to have a low spot someplace, and it might very well be today. With the game plan I've designed, you're going to love it.
That's right. We're going to look at the Hawkins design game plan of the Giants.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
On the Giant 45-yard line. And again, a slot right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1, 5.
Brought down by Randy White, number 54, who teams up with Harvey Martin on the right side, Too Tall Jones and Jethro Pugh on the other. And we'll take a look at that right side, Hawk.
And we'll take a look at that left side. Offensively, Doug Van Horn, one of the better blockers in football. Gordon Gravel opening up there, and Larry Zonka doing what he does best.
The time will be 1.
Battering in there and getting just about.
Exactly.
The Giants are operating where they should.
They're going along with my plan, Bill.
Well, here they go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1, 6. And
ball on the 47. Zonka. And there'll be a flag on the play. And the first man to come up and get him was Charlie Waters. Came up from his safety
20
spot.
seconds.
But another flag. Offsides. Dallas. That's 3 times in a row.
The time will be 1.
That was my game plan. Make Dallas jump off sides a lot.
And you are successful. And Mr. Tom Landry is wondering, what about my men out there? They're jumping the gun.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The
So
time will be 1.
Another first down on this drive.
And 40 seconds.
And they'll go to work for the first time in Dallas territory.
Defense offside.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
It's the second time he's been caught. Jethro
And
Pugh
50
was caught the
seconds.
other time. 3 offsides against Dallas. So the Giants have it first and 10 on the Dallas 47-yard line.
7.
Robinson right and Perkins
Exactly.
left. Shirk is the tight end now on the right side.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1,
Zonka.
7.
And Zonka gets to
And
the
10 seconds.
40-yard line. He picked up a quick 7, and it'll be second down and 3
Good
to
afternoon
go
at the
for a
Tone. The
first
time will
down.
be
And the
1,
Giants, keeping
7.
the ball on the ground, are moving.
And 20 seconds.
You know, every time you look at Larry Zonka, you can't help wonder how the World Football League affected him.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1,
to the Dolphins
7.
and finally going, they made him just such
And
an offer
30
he couldn't
seconds.
turn down. But I believe in that hungry athlete theory. Keep them hungry and they'll play a lot longer, a lot better.
And
Good
the one thing
afternoon at the
Zonka,
Tone.
who's
The
not
time will
hungry,
be
has
1,
to go on now is
7.
professional pride against
And
the best,
40
the Dallas
seconds.
Cowboys. Second and 3, and it's Zonka.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
He
1,
refuses
7.
to go down. The first man
And
to hit him
50
was D.D.
seconds.
Lewis, number 50, who missed last week's game. He was out against Detroit with a virus.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 8.
Look at that play again. You'll see
Exactly.
number 43 coming into the picture someplace here. There's Bob Bruni coming in, and there's Cliff Harris. He's ever
Good afternoon
present.
at the
And I
Tone.
mean
The
that.
time will be
He is
1,
always around
8.
the ball.
And 10
So the
seconds.
Giants now have third down and just about a yard, not even a full yard.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 8.
Ball
And 20
at the
seconds.
37-yard line of Dallas. Robinson is left and Perkins is right.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 8.
Zonka again.
And 30
Zonka
seconds.
has the first down. And he moves it to the Dallas
Good afternoon at the
35-yard
Tone. The
line
time
and
will
watch
be
those
1,
horses up
8.
front.
Carl Chandler and Tom Mullen.
And 40 seconds.
Offensive line for the the New York Giants is moving them off the ball. They're controlling right now the line
Good
of
afternoon
scrimmage.
at the Tone. The time will be 1,
Zonka
8.
wading through. D.D. Lewis finally coming
And
in there.
50
And there
seconds.
again, Cliff Harris.
Carl Chandler, as you pointed out, put a good block on the middle linebacker.
Good afternoon
Bob
at the
Brunig,
Tone.
and that
The time
opened
will
up the
be
door.
1,
So the ball is on
9.
the 35-yard line of Dallas.
Exactly.
First and 10 for New York. Perkins left, Robinson right. And this is a back split, a
Good
passing
afternoon at the
formation.
Tone. The time will be 1,
No pass,
9.
it's Hammond.
And 10
He is
seconds.
really hit hard by Benny Barnes, number 31.
Benny Barnes is outstanding.
afternoon
Anytime you
at
watch
the
him
Tone.
play,
The time
whether
will
it's
be
playing
1,
defensive corner or
9.
playing on the special teams, he is
And 20
outstanding.
seconds.
One thing we should keep track of today, it's usually an indication of how the Giants are going to play. The
Good
quarterback
afternoon
sacks.
at the Tone. The time
In
will
the
be
3
1,
Giant
9.
victories this year, the quarterback was sacked
And
only
30
3
seconds.
times. In their 4 losses, the quarterback was sacked 24 times.
Good afternoon at
So
the
if the
Tone. The
sergeant
time
can
will be
stay
1,
away from the
9.
charging Dallas line and linebackers,
40
they've
seconds.
got a shot. Second and 8 on the Dallas 33.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1,
First pass
9.
of the day. Pisarcik out
And
off
50
the
seconds.
fingertips of Perkins. D.D. Lewis over there to defend with him.
DD's got
Good
great range
afternoon
for a
at the Tone. The
linebacker.
time will be
Exceptional
1,
linebacker
10.
against the pass.
He better have, because
Exactly.
Perkins has been timed in the 100 at 9.6 and in the 40 at 4.5. So you
Good
better be able to
afternoon at
move.
the Tone. The time will be 1,
draft choice.
10.
He looked pretty good the other night.
And 10
They bring in
seconds.
Dixon now. Al Dixon and Gary Shirk, the other tight end, goes out as they bring in the plays from the bench.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 10.
The other New York club is on the scoreboard,
And
the
20
New York
seconds.
Jets, leading Miami 3-0 in the first quarter. A
Good
third and 8.
afternoon at the Tone.
Ball
The time
on the
will
Dallas
be 1,
33.
10. And 30 seconds.
Sarchik looks right. And
Good
off the
afternoon
hands
at the
of
Tone. The
Robinson,
time will be
and
1,
he was sandwiched
10.
by Barnes and Harris.
40
Jimmy
seconds.
Robinson. Now, he doesn't do that. When he gets his hands on the ball, he ordinarily catches. I saw him
Good
drop one the
afternoon
other
at the
night.
Tone. The time will be 1,
When
10.
he catches it, he's electrifying.
And
He
50
is
seconds.
averaging almost 22 yards on a catch. He's had 2 big ones, 78
Good
against
afternoon at
Atlanta,
the Tone. The
and
time
an
will be
80-yard
1,
touchdown pass
11.
against Philadelphia.
Exactly.
So it is 4th and 8. Joe Danello will try a 50-yard field
Good afternoon
goal.
at the
He'll
Tone.
try
The time
ball
will
on
be
the 40.
1,
The line
11.
of scrimmage at 33.
And
It
10
is up.
seconds.
No good. It is wide left.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1,
After a long
11.
drive, helped by some Dallas
20 seconds.
offsides, run out of steam on the 33, and we're scoreless with 10 left
Good
in the first
afternoon
quarter.
at the Tone. The time will be 1, 11. And 30 seconds. Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
Your
1,
family farmed
11.
this land for 6 generations.
And 40 seconds.
And not one day was easy. The work never ends, but you do it with
Good
pride
afternoon
and
at
all
the
the
Tone. The
strength
time
you
will be
can
1,
muster.
11. And 50 seconds.
Okay, boys. Let's go.
Good afternoon at the Tone.
And
The
when
time
the
will
sun
be 1,
finally
12.
takes a rest, so do
Exactly.
you. And you call it Miller time. Time to relax and head for the best
Good
tasting
afternoon
beer
at the
you
Tone.
can
The
find.
time will be 1,
Miller High
12.
Life, America's quality
10
beer
seconds.
since 1855.
When it's time to relax.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 12. And 20 seconds.
If you got the time, we got the beer.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1, 12. And 30
Dallas
seconds.
Cowboys put it in play 1st and 10 from their own 33, and the question has been answered. It is Roger
afternoon
Staubach
at the Tone.
at
The time will be
quarterback.
1,
Golden
12.
Richards is left. Drew Pearson
40
wide
seconds.
right, and the running backs are Preston Pearson and Robert Newhouse. In motion
Good
comes Drew
afternoon at the
Pearson.
Tone. The time will be 1,
And the other
12.
Pearson is swallowed up.
And 50 seconds.
Mendenhall, number 64, nails him back at the
Good
26-yard
afternoon
line.
at the Tone. The time will be 1,
How in the world did John
13.
Mendenhall get that much
Exactly.
penetration that quickly? Let's look and see. Oh, guard blocking down on him.
Good
Rapidly
afternoon
not
at the
getting
Tone. The time will be
cutoff
1,
block there.
13.
Mendenhall, very, very
And
quick.
10 seconds.
Extremely.
So John Mendenhall, a 6-year man out of Grambling, gets the Giants
Good
off on a
afternoon at the
solid
Tone.
note
The time will be
defensively.
1,
And Dallas
13.
comes back now, 2nd and
And 20
13
seconds.
from the 30.
Good afternoon at the
Draw
Tone.
to
The time will
Newhouse,
be
and
1,
he's got daylight.
13.
He gets across the 35,
30 seconds.
and down he goes at the 38-yard line, and we'll take a look at the Dallas offense. Number
Good afternoon
73,
at the
that's
Tone. The
Ralph
time will
Neely.
be 1,
At 68,
13.
Hugh Scott, 62,
And 40
Fitzgerald,
seconds.
64, Rafferty, 67, Donovan. The men who will handle the ball, Golden
afternoon
Richards,
at the
number
Tone. The
83,
time will
Drew
be
Pearson,
1,
88,
13.
Billy Joe Dupree, the tight end, 89.
And 50
The
seconds.
quarterback, Roger Staubach, 26, Preston Pearson, 44, Robert Newhouse.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
Staubach
1,
brings him up.
14. Exactly.
And out of a shotgun they go. Dorsett is now in there along
Good
with Pearson.
afternoon at the Tone. The time
Roger
will
gonna
be
pull the
1,
trigger.
14.
Chased
And
by
10
Martin
seconds.
and Archer. Roy Archer drags him out of bounds. At the
Good afternoon at the
36-yard
Tone. The
line
time will
of
be
Dallas.
1, 14.
Good coverage in the secondary
And
there
20
for the
seconds.
Giants. Nobody open anywhere. Roger's not going to throw many interceptions as he's thrown how many
Good
passes?
afternoon at the
But
Tone.
he's
The
only
time
had
will be
one
1,
interception. That is
14.
incredible
He
statistic.
has
And
thrown
30 seconds.
191 passes this year, 1 interception. And
Good
now,
afternoon at the Tone. The
the
time will
20
be
comes
1,
in. That'll be
14.
Danny White and Bob Hammond,
And 40
the Giant
seconds.
safety, standing on his own 25-yard line. So there is Danny
Good
White. He's
afternoon at the
averaging
Tone. The time
39
will
a
be 1,
boot,
14.
his longest 55.
And 50 seconds.
Hammond will handle it inside his 25, and he fumbles, picked up and juggled, however, and fumbled again. Dallas recovers it, and Salty goes into the end zone. Touchdown, would you believe?
Yes, I would believe.
At the Tone, the time will be 1.
Just outstanding on the special teams for the Cowboys. Jay Salty, boy, he's been a pleasant surprise for him.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
South Carolina.
15.
Yes, sir.
And 20 seconds.
2 fumbles. Hands Dallas a touchdown.
Take a look at Bobby Hammond and look at 31.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1. 15.
Then it's picked up by Jones.
And 30 seconds.
And he fumbles when Lewis popped him.
Jay Salty,
Good
look at the
afternoon
effort
at the
here.
Tone. The
Does he
time
want
will
that
be
score?
1.
He
15.
skidded in on his numbers.
And
Jay
40
Salty.
seconds.
Recovering a double fumble for a touchdown, and the Giants, who were
Good
so
afternoon,
high
Mr.
just
Tone.
a
The time
moment
will be
ago, have
1,
been plunged
15.
into gloom. Efren
And 50
Herrera,
seconds.
20 out of 21 points after, and it is good, so
Good
he has now
afternoon,
gone
Mr. Tone. The
21
time
out
will
of
be
22.
1,
We've got
16.
8:39 to go in the first quarter. The Dallas Cowboys 7, the Giants 6.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1.
We'd like to tell you the cold, hard facts
10
about another
seconds.
kind of motor oil. An oil that will give the average car up to 10
Good
extra
afternoon
miles
at
per
the Tone.
tank
The
full
time
of
will be
gas.
1.
A synthetic
16.
engine lubricant that
And
can
20
also
seconds.
help a properly maintained car get started at 35 below zero.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1. 16.
Mobil 1, the
And 30
oil that
seconds.
saves you gas and turns over at 35 below.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The
Introducing
time will
the
be
Ford
1.
in your future.
16.
The new Ford Fairmont.
And 40
A
seconds.
new car designed for today and the years ahead. Fairmont's mileage ratings are the same as
Good
a little
afternoon
VW
at the
Rapid
Tone. The
when
time
both are
will be
equipped with
1.
automatic transmission.
16.
And this Fairmont,
And
as
50
shown,
seconds.
is actually sticker price less than this Rapid. Yet Fairmont has 90% of the head, leg, and
Good
shoulder room
afternoon
of
at the
most
Tone.
large
The time
cars.
will be 1.
Fairmont,
17.
roomy but with mileage like a small
Exactly.
car. And the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont. The newest, better idea from Ford.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1. 17.
Before the kickoff, let's
And
take
10
another
seconds.
look at the Olympic backstroke form of Jay Salty. You'll notice the
Good
Olympic
afternoon at
technique
the Tone.
on a
The time
dry
will be
field.
1.
And in
17.
case you ever want to know how you advance
And
your
20
forward
seconds.
progress when you're on your back, this is as good a way as any. It's a row your boat action.
Good
Good for
afternoon
6
at the
points.
Tone. The
Point
time will
after
be
good.
1.
7-0 Dallas.
17.
Was that double fumble
And
also
30
part of your game
That was
plan?
not in my, we hadn't worked on that all week.
Okay. Looked like they have it down pat.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The
Efren
time will be
Herrera
1.
will be kicking
17.
off. Beasley Reese, number 28.
And 40
Bob
seconds.
Hammond, number 33. Ready to return it for New York. And the Giants have to recapture
Good
that
afternoon
high
at the
that they
Tone. The
were
time
on just
will
a
be
moment
1.
ago.
17.
Boy, he kicked it
And 50
sideways. Hammond at his 6. The wedge forming. He's out to the 25.
Good
and the first
afternoon
man
at
to
the
get
Tone.
down
The time
under
will be
that
1.
is Aaron
18.
Kyle, number 25, who was playing
Exactly.
with a fractured left wrist, would you believe?
Good
So
afternoon at
Kyle
the
in
Tone.
on
The
the
time
special
will be
teams
1.
makes the tackle. This
18.
telecast presented by authority
And
of the
10
National
seconds.
Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast
afternoon
without
at the
the
Tone. The
express
time
written
will be
consent of
1.
the New York Giants
18.
and the National Football League
And 20
is prohibited.
seconds.
So the Giants 1st and 10 on their own 28-yard line. Perkins
Good
right,
afternoon at the
Robinson
Tone. The
left.
time will
The
be
running
1.
backs are Zonka
18.
and Hammond. And the quarterback
30
is Joe
seconds.
Pisarcik.
Good afternoon
Wrapped
at the
up
Tone.
by
The time
T.D.
will be
Lewis
1.
was Zonka.
18.
Little Hammond tried, number
And 40
33. He's
seconds.
trying to throw a block. He only weighs 170 pounds. So in a sense, you have the
Good
wrong
afternoon
man
at the
blocking.
Tone. The time
Well,
will be 1.
You could say
18.
that, but the backs have to learn
And
to block.
50
They got to
seconds.
block for each other. And Hammond, of course, filling in. Coder will not be playing today, or if he was playing,
Good
he'd be playing
afternoon
very
at the
hurt.
Tone. The time
Ideally,
will
I
be
guess
1.
you'd want Hammond at
19.
170 to carry.
Exactly.
There's Jay Salty, whom we saw back his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Good
number
afternoon at the
87.
Tone. The time will be 1. 19.
Pickup of about a yard. 2nd
And
and
10
9
seconds.
from the 29. Here comes Hammond. Across
Good
the
afternoon
30
at
to
the
the
Tone. The
32. He
time
got
will
a
be
pretty
1.
good block
19.
by Doug Van Horn.
And 20 seconds.
That is the one premier lineman on the New York Giant team. He can play with the
Good
best of them.
afternoon
Number
at the
52.
Tone. The time will be
63,
1.
excuse me, watch it.
19.
It's Charlie Waters,
And
number
30
41,
seconds.
coming up there. And that is a classic block. That's exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Good afternoon at
So
the
the
Tone.
Doug
The
Van
time will
Horn
be 1.
block springs
19.
Bob Hammond, moves the ball out
And
to the
40
Giant
seconds.
31-yard line. Pisarcik on a 3rd and 7. Goes
Good
slot left.
afternoon
That's
at the Tone. The
Robinson.
time will be 1.
And he's
19.
inside Perkins.
And 50 seconds. Tone,
Randy
the time will
Hughes
be
wrapped him up.
1:20.
So Randy Hughes, number 42, spells Charlie Waters. Came flying in there.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:20. And 10 seconds.
Look at Randy at the top of your screen there. Gracious me. You know, he is an underrated player, though. He doesn't get to see much action because you got guys like Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters. But they say he can play regular for almost any team in football. He's getting the opportunity today.
Former All-American out of Oklahoma. Only
Good afternoon,
3 years
Mr.
of
Tone. The time will be 1:20.
He's just waiting his turn. Butch Johnson is
And
waiting
30
his
seconds.
turn. Dave Jennings getting the punt away. And Johnson will take it on his
Good afternoon,
34
Mr.
and
Tone.
has
The
to
time will
retreat
be
to the 30.
1:20.
And hit by
40
Perkins
seconds.
and knocked out of bounds immediately. So Johnny Perkins, number 86,
Good afternoon,
knocked him
Mr.
out.
Tone. The time will be 1:20.
So we have 6 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the first quarter. And thanks to a double fumble, it's Dallas 7, Giants.
Good afternoon,
nada.
Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:21. Exactly.
Are you still chained to? Gotcha.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be
lets you walk away,
1:21.
free from nicks and
And
cuts.
10 seconds.
Its 36 surgical steel rotary razor blades are safely protected
Good
inside 3
afternoon, Mr.
floating
Tone. The
heads
time will
to
be
give you a comfortable shave that's
1:21.
razor close,
And
razor
20
smooth,
seconds.
for up to 3 weeks on a single charge. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor.
Good afternoon, Mr.
It lets you
Tone. The
walk
time
away
will be
from
1:21. And 30 seconds.
Hi. Heading for your Avis car? Well, I'm the guy
Good
who checked it
afternoon,
out.
Mr. Tone.
Yes,
The
sir.
time will be
Had the fan belt adjusted, the
1:21.
oil changed.
And 40
Even
seconds.
checked the power windows. Very nice. Gonna purr like a kitten.
Good
At
afternoon,
Avis,
Mr.
we
Tone. The
try
time
hard.
will be
We designed our own car care
1:21.
program to help make our cars
And
safe and
50
ready to
seconds.
go. Thank you.
Herbert P. family. Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:22.
Judd Hirsch guest stars as Rhoda has a new romance.
Dinner to a drive-in movie, make out a little bit.
Yeah, last night. Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:22.
Watch Rhoda Sunday night.
And 10 seconds.
Say, friends, don't forget, pull up a chair next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the
Good
CBS
afternoon,
Sports
Mr. Tone.
Spectacular,
The time will be
18th annual Dixie
1:22.
500 from Atlanta International
And 20
Raceway.
seconds.
Cale Yarborough and Richard Petty, among others. We'll have the Pendleton Roundup Rodeo and the world's strongest men.
Good afternoon,
CBS
Mr. Tone.
Sports
The time will
Spectacular
be
next Saturday.
1:22.
First and
And
10
30
on their own
seconds.
39 for Dallas. Billy Joe Dupree moves to the left side.
Good afternoon,
The
Mr. Tone.
pitch
The
back
time
to
will be
Preston Pearson.
1:22.
And he
40
is
seconds.
decked on a good come-up to get him by Ray Rhodes, number 22. Take a look
Good
at the
afternoon,
Giant
Mr. Tone.
defense,
The
and
time
we
will
figure
be
to see quite a bit of them
1:22.
today. Number 75,
And 50
Martin,
seconds.
64, Mendenhall, 77, Archer, 81, Gregory.
And that's where their strength is, and
Good
these boys,
afternoon,
too.
Mr.
The
Tone. The
backers,
time
Van
will be
Pelt, number 10, Carson, the middle
1:23.
linebacker, number 53, and
Exactly.
Brian Kelly, number 55. At the corners, Bryant, 21, Rhodes, 22, strong safety,
Good
Clyde
afternoon,
Powers,
Mr. Tone.
29,
The time
free
will be
safety, Stanky, number
1:23.
20.
And that is not their strength.
And 10 seconds.
Second and 6 on the 43. Staubach to Preston
Good afternoon,
Pearson.
Mr. Tone. The time will
And
be
he ran into a
1:23.
gang. John Mendenhall, number
And 20
64,
seconds.
stacked it up, and he had nowhere to go.
Oh, that's my boy, Preston Pearson. What an
Good
outstanding
afternoon,
guy he
Mr.
is.
Tone. The
Not
time
only
will
a
be
fine player, just a fine
1:23.
person.
And 30
He's remarkable
seconds.
at 32 years old. 11-year veteran out of Illinois, and of course
Good
he is
afternoon,
playing
Mr.
to
Tone.
stay
The
out
time will
there
be
with Tony Dorsett in the
1:23.
wings.
Yes,
And 40
Preston's got a
seconds.
lot of good football ahead of him, too. He's hanging in there. Takes care of his body. Learned a long time ago.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Last your
Tone. The
life.
time will be
Johnson right and
1:23.
Pearson left.
And 50 seconds.
Newhouse and Preston Pearson behind Staubach.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:24.
An attempted catch,
Exactly.
no good. Bryant was right there defending on Butch Johnson, who tried to
Good
short out the
afternoon,
ball
Mr.
and
Tone.
couldn't
The
do
time
it.
will
They've
be
been working Butch in with
1:24.
Golden Richards a good bit. I
And
think
10
probably
seconds.
in a matter of time he's going to take over that position.
Butch is a kid. He's a second cousin of
Good
Senator
afternoon, Mr.
Edward
Tone. The
Brooks
time
of
will be
Massachusetts.
1:24. And 20 seconds.
So Danny White, who has kicked 11
Good
of
afternoon, Mr.
41
Tone. The time
inside
will
the
be
20-yard line.
1:24.
And Bob Hammond,
30
who
seconds.
fumbled, you remember, the first punt by White that led to the touchdown.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will
Hammond
be
will take it on his
1:24.
20.
And 40 seconds.
And that's all.
And the flags
Good
are
afternoon,
down,
Mr.
and
Tone.
it is
The
a
time
clipping
will be
penalty.
Boy, Hammond took a
1:24.
hard shoulder from
And
Randy
50 seconds.
Hughes, number 42. He took a shoulder right in the jaw. So if he's slow and getting up, we know why.
Yeah,
he really got licked.
Bobby Hammond started his career here with the Giants.
Exactly.
Went to New Orleans, let go there, and came back here, and he's been good for him.
Well, with a flag on the play now, we'll see the call in a moment.
25.
It is 7-0 Dallas, recovering a Giant fumble. Jay Salty just brought it into the end zone. We have 5 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
25.
They really worked out
20 seconds.
on number 31, Benny Barnes, that time. They clipped him, no question about that.
Good afternoon,
well,
the
Giants did not get much of a return anyway. And now, with a penalty about ready to be called against them, they would really be in bad shape.
Field position, it looks like the overcast skies. We could have rain almost any time, Ben.
Yeah, we had a drizzle just before kickoff. The Irish call this a soft day.
Good afternoon,
the bottom might drop
the
out
time
if it's
will be
so soft.
I'm getting to like the Irish more and more.
And 50 seconds.
Well, Gene Barth and company, in a moment, will give us the call.
Good afternoon, the time will be 1:26. Exactly. Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:26. And 10 seconds. Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:26.
Well, in a moment, Gene Barth and the officials will get us straightened out. Danny White punts to Bob Hammond, who is knocked down by Randy Hughes. Flag on the play, and we're waiting for the interpretation.
I've never seen a year like this with officials not being able to make up their mind. It's been like this all season, that they take so long to make up their mind.
Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:26.
Against the Giants.
And 40 seconds.
Personal foul, clipping. We're going to enforce the clipping foul.
Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:26.
We might take a look and spot the clip for you. And as Gene Barth said, that's what we're going to enforce.
Let's see if we can pick it up on number 65. The flag's already down, though. You see
Ellie Morgan hitting Guy Brown.
Exactly.
So there's the clip.
That's one of them.
Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:27.
They'll go for the personal foul on the
and
clip.
10 seconds.
And from the point of the foul to where they measured off, puts the ball on the Giant 10-yard line.
At the tone, the time will be 1:27.
Oh, Joe can't stand that kind of field position.
And 20 seconds.
They don't have that kind of offense. This is not in the game plan to be there.
They open up with a slot right. Robinson is inside Perkins. Zonka and Hammond are the running back.
And 30 seconds.
Zonka.
Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:27.
Yeah, Bob Burnett. Oh,
and 40
he's
seconds.
coming on, boy. That's some mighty big shoes to fill. Leroy Jordan, who played that position for the Cowboys so well and so long.
Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:27. And 50
Here's
seconds.
the score. Buffalo on a 7-yard pass from Ferguson to Gant gets on the scoreboard, and they're leading New England 7-0. 5:47 to go in the first. Cincinnati, 11-yard run by Pete Johnson. They're on the board 7-0 over Cleveland. 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be
2nd and 7 from his own 13.
And 10 seconds.
Hammond out across the 15-yard line at best.
Good
Lewis
afternoon,
on
at the
top,
tone, the time will
and
be
it was Harris at the bottom.
1:28. And 20
there
seconds.
There you go again, D.D. Lewis and Cliff Harris. Bobby Hammond.
Bob Hammond, 5'10", 170 pounder, released by New Orleans, cut once by the Giants.
And 30
he
seconds.
plays guitar and bass for a gospel group conducted by his father.
Good
and he must
afternoon,
have
at the tone, the time will be
giant-sized heart to
1:28.
play this game at 170 pounds. And no pun intended. 3rd and 5 from the 15, 7-0 Dallas in the first quarter. And here comes Hammond.
And 50 seconds.
Short of the 20-yard line. And the man who helped him at all was Tom Mullen, number 73. He threw a pretty good block to get him out there.
Tom Mullen was a high draft choice, about a number 2 pick for the Giants. It's one of the few in the last couple of years. Prior to last year,
Good afternoon,
the
at the tone, the time will be 1:29.
They have been disappointed at John Hicks and some of the other players they drafted higher. He's playing good football for them, though. Came off some knee
surgery. Good afternoon, at the tone, the time will be 1:29.
Dave Jennings averaging 40 yards, a kick as long as 50. And he'll be kicking to Butch Johnson, standing on the Dallas 35.
The time will be 1:29.
But he got it away. Johnson has to play it on a bounce. And on quite a few bounces, he lets it roll. And Perkins will be down there to down it inside the 25. And it rolls dead on about the 23. So Dallas will take over 1st and 10 on their own 23.
Good afternoon,
the Dallas Cowboys 7, and the New York Giants nothing, 2:56.
And 50 seconds. Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:30. Exactly.
That's a better picture. Even closer. Even better.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:30.
does, without attachments, what no other camera
and
can
10
do.
seconds.
Shoot from less than a foot away. In minutes, you have a color portrait, sharp
Good
and
afternoon.
clear.
At the tone, the time will be 1:30.
Polaroid's SX70 Alpha 1.
And 20 seconds.
When it's
Good
so
afternoon.
cold,
At the
a
tone, the
radiator
time
can
will be
freeze solid,
1:30.
and you're still rolling.
And 30 seconds.
That's the mark of Xerox. When it's so hot, a radiator can blow its
Good
top,
afternoon. At the
and
tone,
you're
the
still
time will be
driving cool.
1:30.
That's the
And
mark
40
of
seconds.
Xerox. When corrosion is eating holes in radiators, and you're still going strong.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will
That's
be
the mark of
1:30.
Xerox. Start fresh now with year-round
And 50
protection.
seconds.
That's the mark of Xerox.
Good afternoon.
A
At the
tale
tone,
of
the
two
time will
cities
be
and a tale of two coaches.
1:31.
Tom Landry of Dallas, the
Exactly.
6th winningest coach in football history. He's won 144. On the other side of the
afternoon.
coin,
At the tone,
you
the
have
time
John
will be
McVay, 46 years
1:31.
old, just really
And 10
starting out.
seconds.
He took over the reins of the Giants in October of '76 for Bill Arnsparger. One man
Good afternoon.
has
At the
fulfilled
tone,
just
the
about
time will
all
be
of his hopes, and the other
1:31.
is just beginning his
And
dreams.
20
It's going to be interesting to see how McVay does. He took over at the midway point in last season, won 3 games, lost 4.
Good afternoon.
I
At the
believe for
tone, the
Giants
time
is
will
what
be
it was. It might have been 4 and 3,
1:31.
but 3 of the games that he lost
And
could
30
very
seconds.
easily have been won.
Oh, we'll see what Dallas does. Leading 7-0, 1st and 10 on their own
Good afternoon.
23-yard
At the
line.
tone, the time will be 1:31.
Newhouse and Preston Pearson.
And 40 seconds.
Richards right. Drew Pearson left. Dupree
Good
comes
afternoon. At the
outside
tone,
too.
the time will be
Staubach under a
1:31.
heavy rush. Gets it deep.
And
No
50
good.
seconds.
Intended for Drew Pearson. And going down there with him was Bryant. But
Good
Pearson
afternoon.
had a
At the
good
tone,
couple
the
of
time
strides
will
on
be
him.
Absolutely a
1:32.
gorgeous move by Drew Pearson that time. Boy, he's a capable receiver. That guy right there, he's your money player.
I can certainly
Good afternoon. At
understand
the tone,
why
the time will be
Staubach
1:32.
overthrew a receiver in the open, because
And
the
10
Giants
seconds.
really put some pressure on him, and he was barely able to see over the charging
Good afternoon.
4.
At the
And
tone, the
Jeter
time will
or
be
Martin, they're each 6'4".
1:32.
Mendenhall is only
And 20
6'1". He's a
seconds.
small man up front. Archer is 6'4", and Gregory 6'5". So he was
Good
throwing
afternoon.
over the
At the
Rocky
tone, the
Mountains
time
that
will be
time.
1:32.
Yes, sir. What a competitor he is, though. Now, keep in mind, he
And
is
30
playing hurt,
seconds.
and a lot of quarterbacks would not be playing with the pain he's in.
2nd and 10 on the Dallas
Good
23.
afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:32.
Johnson is left, Pearson right.
And 40
Here
seconds.
comes Preston Pearson. See you later.
Good afternoon. At the
Carson,
tone,
number
the time will
53,
be
the middle linebacker.
1:32.
And down at the bottom
And
was
50
number 77, Troy Archer.
With the exception of Jack Gregory on that
Good
defensive
afternoon.
line
At
for
the
the
tone,
Giants,
the
you've got a
time
lot
will
of
be
youth and some pretty good
1:33.
promising prospects.
Exactly.
Troy Archer, there's Gregory, number 81 right there. And Harry Carson, who they think
Good
is really going to be an
afternoon. At the tone,
outstanding
the time
linebacker in
will
a
be
couple of years. Just
1:33.
experience.
The biggest problem with the Giant
10
defense
seconds.
is the Giant offense. They just have to play too much.
That's right. That is right.
Good
3rd and
afternoon.
10
At the
from the
tone, the
Dallas
time will be
23. And boy, they string out the
1:33.
left side.
And 20 seconds.
Staubach to
Good
Pearson,
afternoon. At
knocked
the tone, the
down
time will be
by Van Pelt
1:33.
at the 35-yard
And 30
line. That'll be
seconds.
enough for a first down.
And what you just saw was the reason that he's in the lineup instead of Tony Dorsett.
Good
He is
afternoon.
an
At the
excellent
tone, the
receiver, as
time will
everybody's
be
told you time and time again.
1:33.
But Preston Pearson coming out of the
And 40
backfield is
seconds.
about as good as any you want to see. Watch Roger from the shotgun. And look at the
Good
catch.
afternoon.
The
At
sure
the tone,
hands,
the
and he
time
runs
will
such an
be
intelligent route. You'll find
1:33.
the open area.
And 50
Atta
seconds.
boy, Preston. Atta boy.
Yeah, he split the strong safety Clyde Powers
Good
and Brad
afternoon. At
Van
the
Pelt
tone,
on
the
the
time
left
will be
side, the strong side
1:34.
linebacker. So it's 1st and 10
Exactly.
on the Dallas 35.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the
Robert
time will
Newhouse
be
trying to go around
1:34.
Gregory, and while he
And
was
10
doing that,
seconds.
Archer, number 77, tripped him up from behind.
Last year's number 1
Good
draft choice
afternoon.
there.
At the tone,
Troy
the
Archer.
time will be
Got a nice future ahead of
1:34.
him.
And 20
Staubach,
seconds.
as you see, 11-1 against the Giants. But it is truly remarkable now in
Good
this day and
afternoon.
age
At the
of
tone, the
such
time will be
complicated defenses
1:34.
that he has put the ball up
And
in the air
30 seconds.
192 times and only 1 interception.
That is incredible. It really
Good
is.
afternoon. At the tone, the time will
Dallas
be
has beaten the Giants
1:34.
6 straight, 8 of
And
their
40
last
seconds.
9. 2nd and 12 from the 33 of Dallas.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:34.
Robert Newhouse on a slant.
50 seconds.
You want to see a difficult tackle if we can run that play. Did you ever try to tackle a guy?
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:35.
And he's on your back. Just take a look.
Exactly.
Watch a twisted arm by number 64, John Mendenhall. Watch him try to catch him from behind.
The time will be 1:35.
Now watch. His job done.
And 10 seconds.
That's a low center of gravity.
Where are you? Where are you?
I got to backhand you.
You got to find you somewhere. That's like looking for your shoes
the
in the bottom of the closet.
Bobby Newhouse having one of his best years. He really has come on for him.
3rd and 8 from the Dallas 37.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:35.
And another little shotgun.
And 30 seconds. Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:35.
Pearson hit him right on the number.
Whoa, you don't expect that at all. Do not expect that at all. Oh, he feels bad about it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:35. And 50
One of the many free agents the Dallas Cowboys have come up with in the years gone by. Went to the Pro Bowl last year.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tone. The time will be 1:36.
A money in the bank receiver. Anytime he gets his hands on it, if he drops one, something's wrong with the ball.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:36.
Looked like he had his eyes on it, too. I think he
and
just got in on his shoulder pads and bounced off.
All right, Danny White is punting. Beleaguered Bob Hammond on his 27. Nice slide into second base.
36.
And he gets to the 31.
And 20 seconds.
So we have run out of time.
The time
in the
will
first
be
quarter is history. The Dallas Cowboys capitalizing on a giant fumble, leading 7-0.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:36.
Introducing a new 1978 Ford Granada, the ESS. Can you tell it from this impressive $20,000 Mercedes 280 SE?
Good afternoon.
Granada.
At the tone, the time will be
Mercedes.
1:36.
Granada.
And 50
Mercedes.
seconds.
Granada. Mercedes. The new Ford Granada ESS.
Good
See how
afternoon,
close you
Mr.
can
Tone. The
come
time
to the
will
look
be
of a $20,000 Mercedes at the price
Exactly.
of a Granada. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on
Good
wheels.
afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:37.
To the top of the key.
And 10 seconds.
The pitch. A swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Ever want to watch
Good
two things that
afternoon.
are on
At
at
the
the
tone,
same
the time will be
Well, now you can.
1:37.
Because Sony's revolutionary
And 20
Betamax deck,
seconds.
which hooks up to any TV set, can actually videotape something off one channel while you're watching
Good
another
afternoon.
channel.
At the tone, the time
With
will be
Sony's Betamax, you won't miss a
1:37.
thing.
And 30 seconds.
You've just seen a triple play.
No, I didn't.
You don't see those.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:37.
Our house?
And 40 seconds.
Insurance and closing.
Oh, well, what insurance company?
They're all the same.
Allstate's different.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be
We give a 10% discount
1:37.
for newer homes.
And 50
It's a
seconds.
10% discount
Now 10% off our rate.
on basic homeowners insurance for houses 5
Good
years old or
afternoon. At
less.
the tone, the time will be
Allstate's different, all right.
1:38.
Good hand.
Exactly.
When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us.
Good
hands,
afternoon. At the tone, the time will be 1:38.
1st and 10.
And
The
10
Giants
seconds.
putting it in play on their own 31-yard line. Philadelphia leading New Orleans 7-0 in
Good
the
afternoon.
second
At the
quarter.
tone,
A
the time
one-yard
will
run
be
by Ron Jaworski.
1:38. And 20
Gordon
seconds.
Bell is in there with Zonka. Pisarcik grabbed by Harvey Martin and decked by
Good
Randy
afternoon. At
White.
the tone, the time
And a
will be
flag on the play.
1:38. And 30 seconds.
Martin got him, and White lowered the boom, and let's see how they rule it.
Good
Dallas doing
afternoon.
what
At
they
the
do
tone,
best
the
on
time will be
defense.
1:38.
Personal
40
foul
seconds.
against Dallas.
Oh, the #1 defensive team in football, and Harvey Martin's
Good
a good reason
afternoon. At
for
the
it, too.
tone, the time
One
will
of the
be
many reasons,
1:38.
Martin has
And 50
12
seconds.
sacks this year.
And that's 29 for the Cowboys on the season. There you see Martin completely
Good
overpowered
afternoon. At the
Gordon
tone, the
Bell.
time will be 1:39.
Randy White.
54.
Exactly.
Personal foul. Defense. First down.
So Randy White on that laid hit.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be
That moves the ball to the Giant
1:39.
39, 1st and 10.
And 10
Didn't look that
seconds.
late to me. What'd you think?
It looked like he was almost spearing him.
Good afternoon. At the tone, the time will be
Robinson right,
1:39.
Perkins left.
And 20 seconds.
Gordon Bell with Larry Zonka behind Pisarcik. Gordon Bell,
Good
and he has
afternoon. At the
Mullen
tone,
in
the
front of
time will
him.
be 1:39.
And a little guy turns the corner to the
30 seconds.
45. He just outran Mullen, number 73, who was leading the way.
Yes, sir. They were stringing it out that
Good
time.
afternoon.
They had
At
two
the tone,
tall
the
Jones
time will be
strung it out to the sideline. They never
1:39.
could get it turned upfield.
And
Let's watch
40
it.
seconds.
Gordon Bell got the good speed, huh?
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:39.
Henderson.
And
boy,
50
he's got
seconds.
speed to burn. What a great athlete he is.
The first
Good
period
afternoon
score,
at the
Buffalo
Tone. The time
14,
will be
New England nothing.
1:40.
5:47 left to go. A pass
Exactly.
Ferguson to Gann and a 2-yard run by Jimmy Braxton. 2nd and 4 from the 46.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:40.
Zonka.
And 10 seconds.
And he has his first down, and he was really churning.
We're back to our game plan now,
Good
Ben.
afternoon at the
Run
Tone. The
straight at
time
him.
will be 1:40.
Your chances are just
And
as
20
good.
seconds.
Take another look at Larry Zonka, Hawk.
Zonka looking a little better than he has in
Good
previous
afternoon
games.
at the Tone. The time will
Best
be
I've seen him look this year.
1:40.
As you mentioned, he hasn't carried
And
the ball
30
a whole lot
seconds.
this year. Look at that. Boy, what a battering ram. I'm surprised
Good
he's
afternoon
lasted
at the
this
Tone.
long.
The
He
time
just
will
doesn't
be
protect his body at all.
1:40.
Through the years, it's got to take its toll.
And
His
40
best
seconds.
day with the Giants this year, opening day against Washington, he rushed for 62 yards. First and
Good
10
afternoon
at
at
the
the
50.
Tone. The time will
Slot
be
left.
1:40.
Bell and Zonka back up
And
to
50
Sargent,
seconds.
and Joe wants time. So the rookie quarterback out of New Mexico State, although
Good afternoon
as a
at the
rookie,
Tone.
he
The
did spend
time will
3
be
years in the Canadian Football
1:41.
League, so he's not exactly wet
Exactly.
behind the ears. He'll huddle with John McVay. 14 to go in the second quarter.
Good
Dallas
afternoon
leading
at the
the
Tone. The
Giants
time will be
7-0.
1:41. And 10 seconds. Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:41.
I dare you to compare anybody's batteries,
And 20
anybody's,
seconds.
with alkaline power cells. They're trying to beat them for long life. You know what?
Good
You
afternoon
can't.
at the Tone. The time will
When
be
you want long-lasting
1:41.
energy, you can't
And
buy
30
a
seconds.
longer-lasting, all-purpose power system than gold, red, and black alkaline power cells from
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
Come on. I
1:41.
dare you.
And 40 seconds.
This drop is too little to cover the head of a match. Yet
Good
this is
afternoon
enough
at the
adhesive,
Tone. The time will
super
be
strong, super
1:41.
fast to lift 2.5
And
tons.
50 seconds.
It's Duro Super Glue. A drop will do to mend jewelry
Good afternoon at the
Ceramics,
Tone. The time will be
rubber,
1:42.
and glass in only 10
Exactly.
seconds. It truly is super strong and super fast. Super Glue.
Good
A drop
afternoon
will
at the
do.
Tone. The time will
Super
be
Glue. A
1:42.
product of Loctite
And
technology.
10 seconds.
The Giants first and 10 from midfield. Joe Pisarcik having
Good
called
afternoon at the
time
Tone.
after
The time
huddling
will
with
be
John McVay,
1:42.
and he brings him out on a slot left.
And 20
Robinson
seconds.
inside Perkins. Dixon is the tight end on the right side, and you have Bell and Zonka.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:42. And 30
Play
seconds.
action fake to Zonka, pass to Bell. He's out of bounds, chased by Brunig,
Good
and they spot
afternoon
the
at the
ball
Tone. The time will
just
be
shy of the Dallas
1:42.
45-yard line.
And 40 seconds.
Well, we told you the other New York ball club, the New York Jets, had scored. Let's take another look at this
Good
Giant
afternoon
club.
at the
They're doing
Tone. The
exactly
time will
like
be
Sargent is doing exactly what he's
1:42.
got to do against Dallas. Take
And
advantage
50
of the play
seconds.
action passes, hit the quick stuff, because they're not going to have time to throw on a Dallas defense. That defense
Good
in front
afternoon
four
at
for
the
them, they
Tone. The
just put
time
too
will
much
be
pressure. Too much.
1:43. Exactly.
So 2nd and 6 from the
Good
46.
afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:43. And 10 seconds.
Second man, Gordon Bell, grabbed from behind by Charlie Waters
Good
and dropped to the
afternoon at the Tone. The
45-yard
time will be
line.
1:43.
Charlie Waters is a beautiful study.
And 20 seconds.
That Cowboy organization has been so good. They believe in developing athletes as well as drafting them. And
Good
finding them and all
afternoon at
that.
the
He's a
Tone. The
classic
time will be
example. He was a run-of-the-mill
1:43.
cornerback for several years. But
And
if you're a
30
good
seconds.
football player, they'll eventually, a good coach will find a place to play you. Charlie Waters moved over to safety and is
Good
an all-pro
afternoon
player.
at the Tone. The
He
time
finally
will
made
be
his first Pro Bowl
1:43.
last year. Miami
40
on a
seconds.
20-yard pass, greasy to Durrell Harris, leading the Jets 7-3 in the second quarter.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The
Third
time
and
will be
4 from the
1:43.
45-yard line of Dallas.
And 50 seconds.
Both backs are out. The heat is on.
Good
And
afternoon at the
Pisarcik
Tone. The
is
time will be
dragged down, and the first
1:44.
man to get him was number
Exactly.
72, Too Tall Jones, but there's a flag on the play.
And the blitz was on. Cliff Harris was
Good
coming.
afternoon at the
Offside
Tone. The
Dallas,
time will be
fourth time they've been
1:44.
offside so far
And 10
today.
seconds.
Lack of concentration.
One thing, they are certainly not lackadaisical
Good
to be
afternoon at the
offside
Tone.
that
The
many
time will
times.
be
It'll be it. It'll be it
1:44.
good.
And
There
20
you see it.
seconds.
You saw the offsides there. Randy White there. There's Cliff Harris blitzing there.
Good
Number 30
afternoon
is
at the
43.
Tone. The time will be 1:44.
Dallas, left
And 30
tackle
seconds.
defense, offside, first down.
So the Dallas Cowboys slowed up a little bit. They've been penalized for 35 yards now.
And 40 seconds.
That kept the first Giant drive alive, but then it petered out on a 50-yard field goal attempt.
Good afternoon,
now it is first and 10 from the Dallas 40-yard line, thanks to that foul.
And 50 seconds.
Pearson's right and Robinson left. Hammond back in there with Zonka.
The time will be 1:45.
Harvey Martin runs behind him, and that gives Randy White a chance to take him down at the 40.
Good afternoon,
Randy White,
the time will be 1:45.
3 years ago for the Cowboys. Coming on, he's played all sorts of the linebacker positions, the middle and the outside. And they put him back to where he played at University of Maryland. Down
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:45.
He's going to get better and better and better.
Down in Texas, they call White the Manster, half man and half monster. And along with Harvey Martin, that is a formidable duo.
The time will be 1:45. And
switching Buffalo and New England now. Buffalo leading New England 14-7 on a 93-yard kickoff return by Ray
The time will be 1:45.
2nd and 10, and Pisarcik is buried by Tom Henderson. Oh, did he give him a lift?
And when Tom Henderson does something, he does it with a flair.
45.
Graciously, I've seen him pull some remarkable plays. Running kickoff return back for a touchdown his rookie season.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:46.
This year and runs 70-some yards with it. Excellent speed, a great athlete.
Henderson, number 56, is 6'2", 220.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:46.
Running the 100 in 9.5.
And 10
he did
seconds.
the triple jump. He jumped 49 feet, so he is a remarkable
Good afternoon
athlete.
at the Tone. The time will be 1:46.
Dallas Cowboys found it. They can do it when other teams
20
can't.
seconds.
3rd and 21, the backs are split. It's a passing formation, slot right.
Good afternoon at the Tone.
Zonka
The
and
time
Hammond
will
go
be
out,
1:46.
and it is deflected and falls
And 30
harmlessly.
seconds.
It might have hit Too Tall Jones. When you have a guy 6'9", it figures it might hit.
Good
Had a little
afternoon
game
at
on
the
that
Tone. The time
where
will be
Bill Gregory, who just come into the ball game, took the outside rush and let Too Tall inside. And he will block up a lot of vision when he takes an inside rush.
Remember, we mentioned the
Good
key
afternoon
to the
at
Giants
the Tone. The
sacks.
time will
When they
be
win in 3 games,
1:46.
only 3 sacks.
And
4
50
losses,
seconds.
24 sacks. And Pisarcik now has taken a couple of very bad sacks.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The
Beaten
time
up.
will be 1:47.
Butch Johnson all alone on the Dallas 15. Dave Jennings ready to drive it out of there
Good
from his
afternoon at the
40-yard
Tone.
line.
The time will be 1:47.
They were coming, but he got it
seconds.
away. Johnson, a fair catch, and lets the ball bounce, and it's inside the 10.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The
to the
time will be
5.
1:47.
Jennings has done it again.
And 20 seconds.
That's the 5th time he has kicked inside the 20. However, there are 2
Good
flags on
afternoon
the
at
play.
the Tone. The time
And
will
I
be
believe the
1:47.
penalty will be an illegal man
And 30
downfield
seconds.
under the kick.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:47.
That penalty's going to go against Dallas.
And 40 seconds.
Defense off.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:47.
Okay.
And 50
There appeared to
seconds.
be a preliminary signal from the sideline. We'll wipe that away.
Good
We've
afternoon
got
at the Tone. The time
12:04
will
to
be
go in the second quarter.
1:48.
7-0 Dallas.
Exactly. Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:48.
This year, when you step out on the town,
And 10
don't just
seconds.
drive. Take off in the 1978 Thunderbird. With its distinctive look
Good
and
afternoon at the
size,
Tone. The
its
time will
Thunderbird
be
quality and comfort.
1:48.
And it comes at a down-to-earth
And 20
price
seconds.
of $58.08 with automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes,
Good afternoon
heat,
at
and
the
more.
Tone. The time will
Flight
be
test the 1978 Thunderbird. When America
30
needs a better
seconds.
idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:48.
Where you been?
And
It
40
wasn't easy
seconds.
getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob. Teddy, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest
Good
steak
afternoon
you've
at the
got.
Tone. The time will be
Lower brown.
1:48.
Steak and lower brown.
And 50 seconds.
Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight,
Good afternoon
let
at
it
the
be
Tone. The
Lower
time will
Brown.
be 1:49.
Here's to the
Exactly.
You want to see
Good
how
afternoon at the
adorable and
Tone. The
shy
time
I
will
am?
be
On our own, the lights go
1:49.
out, and Julia gets turned on
And
by a
10
tall, dark
seconds.
stranger. On our own tonight, following Rhoda.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
A fine
1:49.
punt by Dave Jennings, number 13,
20
and
seconds.
Dallas now takes over 1st and 10 on their own 5-yard line. And Tony Dorsett
Good afternoon at the
is
Tone.
in there
The
with
time will be
Newhouse, and it's Newhouse.
1:49.
Brian Kelly, among others, in that fired-up Giant forward wall, stacking Newhouse up.
Both the safeties
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:49.
Next Sunday, right here on CBS, these are the NFL regionals. Detroit versus Atlanta, the New York Giants in Tampa Bay.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:49.
Los Angeles and Green Bay. And San Francisco versus New Orleans. Next Sunday, right here on CBS Sports.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:50.
Breaking the huddle. The ball is moved out to the 8-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7, and a whistle for the moment.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:50.
When you said that the Giant defense, there was really nothing wrong with it, except that they stay on the field too long, and that's about right. They play good football.
That's really what happened to them against the Cardinals, too.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:50.
Demise of Monday night.
And
2nd and 7 from the 8. Play action fake. Out to Dorsett. Brian Kelly pushed him out of bounds.
The time will be 1:50.
So Tony Dorsett handling the reception. By the way, he has rushed for 5 touchdowns this year.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:50.
Leading rusher for the Cowboys so far. Tony had to move the other day.
Good afternoon
at
the Tone. The time will be 1:50.
Dallas is that kind of town,
and 50 seconds.
Tony's longest against St. Louis, 77 yards, the longest run in the
time
NFC
will be
thus far.
1:51. Exactly.
2 tight ends now. Jay Salty gets in on the action. 3rd and 1 from the 14 of Dallas.
The time will be 1:51.
That's Johnson in motion to the other side.
And 10 seconds.
Stanky picks him up. Here comes Dorsett. And a great play by
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:51.
Number 55. What a play.
You tell
him. 20 seconds.
He certainly did. He played well that time.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:51.
Last year,
and 30
he played football, rugby, and wrestling, and he needed the strength of a wrestler. He brought Dorsett down with one hand.
Do your homework, Ben. Come on, tell me some more about it.
And 40 seconds.
Here's Bobby Hammond waiting for the punt. Danny White will have to get it out from the end zone.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:51.
Standing on the Dallas 45-yard line. 7-0 Dallas. 10:40 to go in the second quarter.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:52. Exactly.
The 30-second clock had run out. And look at that look of disgust on Danny White's face.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:52.
Let me ask you something. Why in the world, in a natural punt formation, could that play take more than 30 seconds?
Oh, the New York Giants put 10 men on the line of scrimmage that time. I think it was some confusion as a blocking assignment. It would be my
20 seconds.
Because you don't expect a team that's coached as well as Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys to do something like that.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:52.
It now moves Danny White to where his heels are almost on the back line. Hammond has moved to the Dallas 40.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:52.
Hammond will field it at the 37.
And 40 seconds.
And Benny Barnes, the first man to grab him, number 31. And then some other Cowboys came along to
lasso him down.
The time will be
1:52.
Oh, that Barnes is good on the punting team.
50 seconds.
It's nice to talk about some of the special team players because they rarely get mentioned. Guys who have to go out there. But on this broadcast, with a man who spent 10 years on special teams, this is the time to spotlight him.
Yes, sir. Got to give him something.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:53.
About a third of the game of special teams yards.
John McVay has good field position for the first time. It's on the Dallas 37.
Good
first
afternoon
and 10.
at the Tone. The time will be 1:53.
Robinson slot left inside Perkins.
And 20 seconds.
Zonka straight ahead for a yard or two.
Good afternoon
Boy,
at the
that's
Tone.
a tough
The time will
line.
be
You get a couple up the middle.
1:53. And 30
again, they're trying to work Gordon Gravel and Doug Van Horn, trying to work on Randy White and Harvey Martin.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:53.
You got to keep things simple against the Cowboys, though. You're not going to fool them. They're too well prepared. Through the years, they've just been a great organization, right down to the coach, the front office, anywhere.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:53.
Al Dixon, the tight end, number 84, brings in a play from the bench, and Gary Shirk goes out.
Good
Ball on
afternoon
the
at the
Dallas
Tone. The time will be
34-yard line, 2nd and 7. Perkins left, and Robinson is on a wing right, outside Dixon.
Good
Play
afternoon
action
at the
fake
Tone.
to
The time
Hammond,
will be
and down goes
1:54.
Pisarcik.
And 10 seconds.
Putting a little bit slippery on that artificial turf there.
In case you joined us a little late, we should point out we had a light rain a few minutes before the game started. So things like this will happen. We saw Hammond go into a slide in receiving a punt, and you saw Pisarcik.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:54.
Can't buy that artificial turf. just came by.
And 30 seconds.
Let's look at it again. Patterson Plank Road Joe.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:54.
There he is, slipping right there. He came to training camp weighing 245 pounds, a free agent. He was a bouncer down in Florida.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
1:54. 3rd and 14 from the 41.
And 50 seconds.
And look out, Harvey Martin was way across the line, and Hammond takes the ball inside the 35.
The time will be
Harvey Martin was almost in the Giant backfield before the ball was snapped. Was he ever hungry?
A little quick trap there. Carl Chandler and Doug Van Horn.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:55.
There's Van Horn.
And 10
and
seconds.
And the hole opens up. Oh, good block there by Gordon Gravel. Boy, that Hammond's quick.
And that
Good
big Tom
afternoon at the
Henderson
Tone. The time will be
off the block. Came back to put him down, and then Randy
and 20
White
seconds.
lay on top. From the 34-yard line of Dallas, 4th and 7, Danello will try a 52-yard field goal. And this one is good! Oh, Danello!
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:55.
A 52-yard field
and 40
goal.
seconds.
And they're up in arms in New Jersey. Dallas 7, the Giants 3.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:55. And 50 seconds.
It's hard to tell the difference between J.C.Penney plain pockets jeans and the world's best-selling jeans. After all, they're both made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. In fact, you probably couldn't tell the difference at all unless you noticed the fancy stitching on the back of those famous jeans or the money you saved on plain pockets. J.C.Penney plain pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price.
And 20 seconds.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:56. And 30 seconds.
When things are getting thick and you want to start real quick.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:56. And 40 seconds.
They've got the stuff. When the starting's tough, you can trust the Delco.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:56. And 50 seconds.
There you have it, 4 plays for 51 yards.
At the Tone. The time will be
by a 51-yard field goal, officially 51 by Joe Danello, who had missed from the 50. So they're not giving him any easy
Good
shots, and he's
afternoon at
1
the Tone.
for 2.
The time will be 1:57.
Ready to start it off with 8:33 in the second quarter, 7-3 Dallas, and taking it Larry Brinson in the end zone.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be 1:57.
To the 20. To the 30.
And
Mallory takes a ride on his back and finally brings him down on the 39-yard line.
At the Tone. The time will be 1:57.
For the Dallas Cowboys.
Rookie
Had a
at
30
hard,
seconds.
6 feet, 214 pounds, 22 years old, and look at him go.
And a touchdown
Good
last week
afternoon
for the
at the Tone.
Cowboys.
The time will be
In the end zone.
1:57.
Showing good speed,
and 40
too.
seconds.
And a feel for hitting that wedge about right. That's a feel, too, brother.
Good afternoon
Special
at the
talent.
Tone. The time will be
Anybody wants to do it.
Butch
1:57.
Johnson threw a good block on
And
Al
50
Dixon
seconds.
to spring him, and there's Mallory taking the ride. Little Mallory is 185.
Good
They call
afternoon
him
at the
Little.
Tone. The time will be
Staubach, a
1:58.
quick release, and it is knocked down and almost intercepted. But John Mendenhall has those hands taped up.
Good afternoon
and in
at
no
the
way
Tone.
he
The
can
time
catch
will
a
be
ball.
1:58.
Got that left hand up in the air.
He can sure
And
knock
10
him down.
seconds.
John Mendenhall out of Grambling.
Good afternoon at the Tone. The time will be
74 year,
1:58.
then a knee operation
20
and
seconds.
an ankle in 75 that slowed him up. Last year, he led the club in tackles
Good
with
afternoon at the Tone. The
151.
time will be
And he is playing up a storm
1:58.
today. Second and
30
10
seconds.
from the Dallas 38. 7-3 Cowboys. That's Pearson.
Good afternoon
Lou
at the
Pearson in
Tone. The
motion.
time will be
And here comes
1:58.
Dorsett. And he
40
banged
seconds.
into Carson, who had his hands full trying to fight off a block. And
Good
while
afternoon
fighting
at
off
the
the
Tone.
block,
The time will be
thrown, as you see, by
1:58.
Scott, he was able to
And
stack
50
it up.
seconds.
Herb Scott throwing the block. And a change on the scoreboard.
Good afternoon
Philadelphia
at
has
the Tone.
added
The time
7
will be
more on an 11-yard pass.
1:59.
Jaworski to Big Carmichael.
Exactly.
And the Eagles leading New Orleans 14-0.
Hank Stram will bring him back, though. That's a slow starting team.
Good afternoon
They will
at the
quit.
Tone.
You
The
saw
time
that
will
last
be
week when they upset the Rams.
1:59.
So you're right. From the
And
Dallas
10 seconds.
43, you have 3rd and 6. And the shotgun is
Good
loaded up,
afternoon at
and
the
Roger
Tone.
will
The time will
take
be
dead aim.
1:59. And 20 seconds.
Broken up by Stanky. Jim Stanky. Oh, what a great
Good
defensive
afternoon at the
play.
Tone. The
I'll say
time
it
will be
was, 'cause it was all over. He did not
1:59.
made that.
And 30 seconds.
He's an interesting guy. Take another look at him.
Now keep in mind you've got Tony Dorsett in open field.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 1:59.
Fitzgerald and Rafferty
and 40 seconds.
Preston Pearson getting his block. And look at this. There's nothing but daylight.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 1:59.
Great defensive play.
And 50
Tony
seconds.
Dorsett taken right out of that catch by Jim Stanky. And now Danny White.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 2 o'clock.
33. And Bob Hammond retreating and fair catching, and that means the ball will hit and will not go in the end zone.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 2 o'clock.
And it would appear to be inside the Giant 10-yard line.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 2
Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, the CBS
and 20
Sports Spectacular, the Dixie 500, the 18th annual Dixie 500 from Atlanta. Cale Yarborough,
Good afternoon
Richard
at the
Petty,
tone. The time will be
others.
2
Then the Pendleton
o'clock.
Roundup Rodeo from
And
Pendleton,
30
Oregon.
seconds.
And finally, the world's strongest men. Contestants will
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 2 o'clock.
pounds, attached by
and
a
40
harness
seconds.
over a 40-yard. Why wouldn't they go first class and buy a ticket?
Get out of town.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 2 o'clock.
First and 10 for the
And
Giants
50
from their own
seconds.
8-yard line.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 2-1.
Zonka just
Exactly.
determined to get yardage. That's about the only way you can get any running up the middle like that.
Would you describe that as
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 2-1.
Each time I see Zonka with
and 10
little Bob
seconds.
Hammond blocking for him, you immediately miss, and not to knock Hammond except for size.
Good
No way. Look, Tom is ready for the dance.
Good afternoon at the tone.
So
the
is
time will be
Efren Herrera.
3. Exactly.
Herrera kicking off for Dallas. 21-3 Cowboys. 6:39.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 3-3.
And Herrera goes
and 10
to
seconds.
Beasley Reese on the 7-yard line.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 3-3.
So the
and 20
Giants will
seconds.
take over and put it in play. And, of course, we were talking about it. There's the Dallas drive, 7 plays.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be
39-yard pass interference play.
And
Chopped
30
off 39
seconds.
of those 91 yards. And set it up for Staubach to have Dorsett go
Good
in from the
afternoon at the
1-yard
tone. The
line.
time will
So
be
the Giants trying to answer
3-3.
back.
And that Cliff Harris interception
And 40
looms
seconds.
more and more prominent, doesn't it?
If the Giants had somehow scored, this would be a totally different
Good afternoon
ballgame.
at the tone.
And
The time will
Giants
be
now down by
3-3.
18 and sinking slowly.
And 50
Need a
seconds.
drive. Here comes Watkins.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be
Pretty good play to
3-4.
move G.D. Lewis wide.
Exactly.
Van Horn and Mullen trying to open up that side, and they open it wide enough
Good
for Watkins
afternoon
to
at the
pick
tone.
up.
The time will be 3-4.
Meanwhile,
And
down
10
in
seconds.
Georgia, the San Francisco 49ers have opened the gap 10-0, and of course Atlanta
Good
keeps
afternoon
you
at the
low, but
tone.
they
The
have
time
trouble
will be
getting on the
3-4.
scoreboard, and 10 is a lot for them to make up.
And
I
20
think
seconds.
Bartkowski's playing down there for the Falcons, too.
The ball on the 35-yard line.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 3-4.
Second and 1.
And 30 seconds.
Watkins. Well, it depends on his forward motion as to where
Good
they spot the
afternoon
ball.
at the tone.
First
The
down.
time will be 3-4.
Young lady who has lost her curl in the
And
light
40
rain that we
seconds.
had earlier. The game
Good
has
afternoon at the
changed.
tone. The time will be
complexion of it.
3-4.
The first half, it would appear to be
And
an
50
emotional
seconds.
Giant ball club and a somewhat flat Dallas team, but you get the feeling now that
Good
Dallas is
afternoon
beginning
at
to
the
assert
tone. The
itself.
time will be
Cincinnati
3-5.
leading Cleveland by 3
Exactly.
in the third quarter, 10-7. First and 10 from the 38.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 3-5.
Nowhere.
And 10 seconds.
Hammond and Mikolajczyk were trying to throw a block on the right side on too tall
Good
Jones.
afternoon at the
And
tone.
he
The
slowed
time will
them
be
up so
3-5.
well that Randy White had an easy shot
And
to bring the
20
carrier
seconds.
down.
Mikolajczyk, number 62. The New York Giants, he's a big guy.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be
3-5.
3-5.
Southman under John McVay.
And 30 seconds.
Wrestles in the offseason. You realize what he did in his last one?
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be 3-5.
Remember Gas
And
House?
40 seconds.
Who'll ever forget old Gas House?
Second and 9 from the 38.
Good afternoon at the tone. The time will be
Marshall in motion to the
3-5.
left. Watkins.